Greetings, families. Welcome back once again to Faceless Video. I hope you are well by the grace of God. Thank you so much for your time and support. My returning, my new, and those who are passing by. Thank you. God bless you all. This video, when I first saw it, I do not understand it, even up to this stage that I'm going to record it. And something tell me, why don't you do research on the initials? You will understand it soon. I came across this handover, and the man handing over the items do not say much about it, but he said before I hand over this and that, he told stories that you will listen to later, but he didn't introduce what he's given or where it came from. I said, I can't be fooled. I need to do a bit of research about this. And so I did. And the initials on one of the vehicles, I found out that GAFSP is a global agriculture and food security program. Is a multilateral financial platform dedicated to improve food and nutrition security worldwide, launched by the G20. Yes, so this is something like World Food Organization, I would say. They are the people who provide these items that you will see. Families, please listen to the handover and I'll be back. Thank you so much for your time.
Before moving on to the handover of equipment worth no more than 1.3 billion, I'd just like to remind you that fish can be caught quietly. No, our country has always been faced with the problem of food security. Takes its breath and many factors, climatic factors, naturally. We are highly dependent on rainfall. But there are also other factors which are disparate and linked to the poor control of water in our country. You have the capacity of our players, both institutional and from the rural world. And very often to the lack of resources to support employment. It's with this in mind that. But the government has decided to focus on two major initiatives. The first is the Pastoral Group Offensive. You will also recall that the government recently adopted our vast integration program, which we have named Didier Boli. You say by 2032 should pay off. To address food security in our country in 2016. Today he is insecure. I take from 203,000 internally displaced in March 2016. So why'd I do a little recently, in 2000, April 23, 2009? You represent a gap in terms of production, but also a shortfall because we have to feed the displaced populations. The crisis must also consider the international dimension. In this sense, the crisis has had an obvious impact on agriculture. But we're also under the influence of the political options our country is planning. Unmanageable interference based on observations. And for the rollouts, we have developed and begun to implement a number of tools. To many Gwenbach, it was therefore necessary to reinforce our capacities in terms of the obligation of resources in euros because the mission of the initiative action is to bring our surface water mobilization capacity to over 9 billion meters. So this will entail the fact of increasing the developable surface areas so that we have water control to carry it out. But beyond that, there are the program projects, so we'll see who did the honors today. Major equipment. It's good for parliaments, but it's a partner. Like INRA. Who is such a strategic partner for your department? Because all our ambitions in terms of production must be based on what research can bring to the table. So it was an obvious choice. That's why your department needs to take this component into account in its support for vapors. It's not my place to speak, so on behalf of the beneficiaries, the words I'd like to say are naturally words of thanks. And the commitment and assurance of the donor. This timely donation solves a number of bottlenecks that limit your production. Together, we are committed to using this material responsibly. And we enjoy it. Faut tout les RSA pour qu'il fasse et dans sa stratégie d'intervention à privilégier, lui faire. So we work with at least 25 structures, from the Ministry of Agriculture as well as other ministries. NQ Agriculture as well as other ministries. So the unity of showing that a certain amount of equipment, in particular rolling stock and computer hardware materials can be. Arrangements to enable me to be more operational in the field, all with the real aim of achieving. Which are assigned to food security for our country. And I should point out that this was a first donation. And in the coming days, we'll be handing over other lab equipment and consumables to INRA. I can also see other equipment being delivered to the Somager in the days to come. This is just the first step.
Families, thank you so much for listening up to this stage. You heard it all. They thank the donors, but they do not mention the name, who the donors are. And there was a history behind it since 2016 or so up to now. But the most important thing is they have received motorbikes, lorries, computers, and there's a promise that there will be more coming to help Burkina Faso, which we are so grateful and happy about it. At least I've learned something today. GAFCP, it's like World Food Organization, I will call it in a simple term. But the beginning, the man used a word, you can fish quietly. I do not understand why he used that word instead of mentioning the donors. I do not understand, but well, if that's the word to use, they can fish quietly. It is fine. And also the donors that they have thanked without telling us who the donors are. That's fine as well. I can see Bill and Melinda Gates name here. They are part of the big donors of this GAFSP. And I know some of my families have been saying, be careful of these people, be careful of GMO. So yes, the alarm bell is ringing, ting, 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 ting. My families, I will leave you here. I will not drag this video long. Please leave comment what you think about this video. The whole thing is mystery for me. Anyway, I will leave you here. My queens and kings, my returning families, new ones, you are very, very welcome. Stay with us and I'll be back on my seat very soon. God bless you all. Have a wonderful day. I can't do this without you. So I'm grateful, always grateful for your time. My VIPs, you know yourself. Thank you. Stay blessed. Bye bye.